Precision, position, acceleration, retraction and moderation. 5 concepts that will make you a better puncher. Grasping these concepts will make you a faster puncher, will make you a harder puncher, and will make you a more accurate puncher. At the end of this video, you are going to have a clear understanding of these 5 concepts, and it could very well unlock some real progress for you over the next week or two if you think about and develop the concepts that we talk about now. Before we get started, very quickly go download your book, The Beginner Boxer Toolkit. After you've watched this video, there's a link below. There will be a link at the end. How to prepare your mindset, set up your own home gym, the top 10 skills you should learn as a beginner, how to lay down the ideal training regime, how to build power, how to build speed, how to get great at shadow boxing, and how to develop the perfect heavy bag session. As I said, there's a link down below. There will be a link at the end. Pop your email address in and I will get that book off to you. Okay, let's get on to our 5 concepts. Concept number 1, excuse me, precision. And I'm talking about technical precision, okay? Accept, no substitute. And when you understand, so what is precision? It's precision of technique. Understand the technique, understand what makes it good, and really importantly, understand the common faults. Once you understand all that stuff, it's about drill, drill, drill. I was going to say drill, baby, drill, but someone else has got that catchphrase at the moment. But it's about repetition. Let's take a simple example. Let's take the uppercut. So when I throw an uppercut, either lead hand or backhand, okay, either way, 1, 2. The rotation for an uppercut is slightly different than any other punch that we throw. So the hips rotate, so with the lead hand hook, the hips rotate, and then this lead hip lifts at the end. And that lift has to be there in order for me to allow my arm to land on the vertical. And I happen to think, call me a stickler, that is an uppercut, that is not an uppercut. That is a hook, okay? And we can go on about it. I've had people have a go at me over this over the years. And I don't care. I'm not going to change my view that that is an uppercut and that is a hook, okay? Similarly, that's an uppercut and that's a hook. If boxing commentators want to call that a hook, that's up to them. I don't. But the really important thing is that hip rotation and the lift of the hip at the end. Without that lift of the hip, that tiny little adjustment, you can't get the arm landing vertically with any decent power. Precision of technique. Take the jab. Jab from the static position. Again, we have that hip rotation. Okay, that allows us to maximize the range. It allows us to maximize the power. We can change that jab up, but we're adapting the technique, and we're going to be precise about the adaptation of that technique. We can either jab moving forward, we can jab moving backwards, we can jab sidestepping, we can even jab where we take the ground and then retreat. Bang, knock the head back and bring it back to the starting position. But they are all simple technique adjustments, but they must all have precision of technique when you execute them. Be clean. Concept number 2 is position. So this is about range, your range in relation to the opponent. And this is one of the things that boxers have to grasp. And it's something that I work a lot on in the gym, is that concept of range. There are 5 ranges: out of range, edge of range, which is just beyond the length of your outstretched arm, long range, which is where a jab would land, mid range, which is the kind of the distance away of your upper arm to allow hooks and uppercuts, and close range is nose to nose, head to head, right up close. 5 ranges. But it's really important. So if I throw a 1-2 there and then I throw a hook, it's going to miss, isn't it? Unless I make adjustments, unless I either lengthen the hook, unless I move in after the hook, after the backhand. Okay, so 2 options. And as beginners, I don't really go into hooks with beginners. I stick with the straight stuff because I know that'll help them most with range. They need to know their range down to an inch. I was just reading a little thing about Muhammad Ali last night with Angelo Dundee. tried to get him the first time he had him in the gym, tried to get him to put his hands up. But Ali's game was about being on the edge of range, and the way he made people miss was that he had an understanding of his position to the opponent down to the millimetre. So he knew that he only had to do that and the shot would fall short. He only had to do that and the shot would go past his ear. He only had to do that and the shot would go past his head. Understanding of range. We do something called tag boxing. I'll put a link up above. That's a really brilliant way of teaching range and helping young boxers develop that range without, you know, in the spar where shots are coming their way, they're a little bit more shocked, so that can develop that concept of range. Only once I've got boxers where they're really good at the straight shots will I then introduce hooks, and I think most coaches are the same. Closer you get to a fighter, shorter the distance, the more complex the situation is. Okay, so at close range, if you don't know your hooks and uppercuts, get it back to long range, stick with the straight shots. So that's number 2 position. Number 3, acceleration. Punches must accelerate. It's easy to get into the habit of throwing them at the same speed. Think about a whip, a bull whip or whatever, and it does that, and if you think about the action of the whip, it kind of snaps at the end, doesn't it? So that's what we want with our punches. The whip grapple, the throw of a ball, it's an acceleration. We were always taught to think about the last 6 inches of the punch. Snap the last 6 inches. Yeah, so it accelerates. Think about speed development activities. You do visualization into a really steady state walking around, and then you think of the fastest thing you can think of. Might be an F1 car, might be a flash of lightning, might be a whip crack, and you stop and bam, 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 and you get into your stance and you ping off 3 or 4 shots. You develop the speed. Light hand weights. I always like light hand weights. A lot of people don't think it helps with hand speed. I happen to think it helps. You do a round with some light hand weights, and then the next round you do without them. All of a sudden your hands are much quicker. There's one with resistance bands. I'll put a link up top of my mate Andy Wake, who runs Boxercise. Andy does some really clever stuff. So we'll have a resistance band to a fixed position. He'll step back so there's tension on that wristband, and short little bursts, 20-second bursts. So think about acceleration. Really, really important. And then concept number 4 is retraction. It's obvious with long punches. Okay. So if I do that and my arm comes back here, so it kind of goes to the pub on the way home from work, stops, has a couple of pints, goes to the takeaway, and then eventually gets back to the gym. A good fighter and a good coach in the opposite corner will spot that. You'll get away with it once or twice, they'll spot it. And the next time, the show feint, as soon as they know that right hand's come, they will just let a hook go. And you'll take the headshot. So, retract. It is a serious fault. I happen to think that the most serious faults are the ones that are going to get you hurt. Right? They're not acceleration, okay, you might land the shots. You know, position, okay, precision and technique will be a bit sloppy. If you're not ensuring that is there, especially when you're in punching range, so that once your punch has delivered its message, get it back to base. Okay? Be clever, because you can guarantee a smart opponent will spot it, and you'll be lying on the floor with a blood bubble coming out your nose. Okay, so get it retracted, get it back to position. And finally, moderation. Everything in moderation, they say. Don't load up. As soon as you see boxers overpower, trying to hit too hard, we lose precision of technique. Okay, we see telegraphing. The shots come back. The red mist descends. Okay, trying to hit too hard. It's a skill-based business. Okay, get the precision of technique right. Get the precision right, get the acceleration right, get the retraction right. Don't mess around with trying to overpower everything. Sugar Ray Leonard once said, I'm not known to be a hard puncher, I'm known to be a consistent puncher. If the first one don't get you, the next one will. I've always loved that saying. I just like it because I think it instills, you still want to dominate, but it instills domination via control. So be cool, alright? Be cool. Don't load up, don't get angry, don't try and knock the world out, don't try and create a tsunami with every punch that you throw. I'm going to stop. Please, if you've enjoyed the video, drop a like, drop a comment and subscribe for more, and don't forget, download your book, The Beginner Boxer Toolkit. I hope that you've enjoyed the work that we've done here. Have a think about it, and I'll see you in the next video, which will be next week. Okay, take care.